scheduled for one fall. Introducing first.
Who's there? You're a nightmare.
Representing STBW from Peoria, Illinois, weighing 220 pounds, Dalton, the Executioner. And his opponent. Won't you spare me over to another year? Representing WCE from Eagle, Wisconsin, weighing in at 250 pounds. He is the measuring stick, James Marshall.
And we are back with more action here at WCE Cross STBW Devil's Playground, the Backyard Brawl, as we have the measuring stick of WCE, the unhinged James Marshall, taking on Dalton, the Executioner.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. James Marshall want to prove to the world that he's the executioner. Prove to the world here he is the measuring stick of WCE. Taking on the executioner of STBW, ladies and gentlemen.
It's certainly going to be an interesting fight here.
Big DDT from the executioner, taking the fight to James Marshall.
Yeah, big DDT there by Dalton the Executioner. And James knows about facing executioners. He's had to deal with people, the executioner John Pierce for almost a decade.
Yeah.
On and off, he's collided with the executioner Pierce.
That is correct. I agree with you. He has taken on a lot of people in WC. Now he's facing against Dalton. There's kids now that here come Marshall firebacks, letting him know that he is the measuring stick with a big drop kick.
And you gotta remember, Marshall is just coming off the biggest victory of his career. He defeated the former Sinister Craven Rage, now going by Craven R. Michaels, in a masked versus career Iron Man match. It came down to the last moments. He got the last submission victory to break the tie, and he did the impossible that a lot of people thought he'd never do. He beat KRM, and not only did he beat him, he beat him more than once in that Iron Man match.
That is true. You know, he shocked the world, and he proved that Craven Rage is just a man, ladies and gentlemen. And now the world know who Craven Rage is, and we do have Craven R. Michaels. And what is going to be told for the future of WCE with Craven R. Michaels?
We have yet to see. We know he's going to be a part of that big Team WCE versus Team STBW main event later today, that 8-man elimination. And Dalton with a big stiff kick right to the sternum of James Marshall. And these men trying to get any advantage that they can. A nice running knee bot.
Go for the pin.
And Dalton just barely got a...
And you got James Marshall trying to shake off the cobwebs off that running knee strike.
Yeah, Dalton is actually, I think Marshall might have underestimated Dalton a little bit, but Dalton's doing pretty well in the ring against the measuring stick.
That is true. This is a good test for Dalton, the executioner. And now here comes Marshall with those big jabs.
Big stiff jabs of James Marshall in the corner. And a big chop as well. And James going, and big back splash onto Dalton, and a big soccer ball kick right to the back.
Soccer kick, and now you got Marshall.
Marshall getting on it, roll, and he's sitting frustrated that he's still up, and then big, almost like a running European back elbow, and just pushing himself right into the gut of Dalton's executioner.
Just splashing into him. And
big roundhouse!
Roundhouse kick.
And down goes Dalton!
Down goes Dalton on that one.
And Dalton's still up, getting up, but Marshall just cuts him right down to size again.
Yep.
And a big elbow to the dome! Right on the top of the head of Dalton.
I got him in the headlock.
Got him in that rear chin lock.
Chin lock. And you got to think, Marshall did come off of the biggest win of his career. And now he's taking on Dalton Executioner in this match here.
And Dalton escaping, just yanking the head of James Marshall there.
With those big blows from Dalton Executioner. And a big DDT. Taking the fight to Marshall, ladies and gentlemen.
And Marshall just laid out with that DDT.
You know, Dalton, he may not be being so cocky. He should be staying on Marshall because you can't underestimate the measuring stick.
No, you can't.
And you got Dalton execution. Is he going for another big kick here?
And you see him stalking and stomping. Big spear by Dalton Executioner.
Dalton Executioner
going for a pin.
Could this be it?
No!
Only
two and a half there.
You know, Dalton want to show the world that he is the executioner from his company, and he's the executioner of the yard.
Yeah, he wants to show that he is the Dalton Executioner. He is the executioner of STBW. But I know... Now, that actually brings up an interesting battle that we definitely need to see one of these days.
And a big splash to the corner to Marshall. Now Marshall dropped.
Yeah, Marshall dropped down. Perfect. Oh, man, he's just sitting duck right now.
And now you got an execution choking Marshall.
And the fans chanting for it.
And now James trying to get the fans was trying to get James behind him, and now Marshall stomping. Dalton stomping. Is he going for a super kick? But Marshall
countered the super kick and just tripped Dalton up. And big shoulder tackles in the corner by Marshall on Dalton the Executioner. And a big European uppercut as well.
Another one.
And another one.
3 big European
Call him
uppercuts.
DJ Khalid Marshall with those ones. He's just dropping another one.
And now you come in with
big axe handle across the back.
And a big DDT. And now both men down, ladies and gentlemen.
And both Marshall and Dalton, the Executioner, both down.
They are punishing each other here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a war that is going on, especially when that big main event happened up.
Yeah, like, you know, these singles expedition matches, you know, it's really more about getting ahead on either side. You know, do you want to go in down 3-0, or do you want to go in up 3-0?
And Dalton with a big boot to the face and a
big kick, big axe-like kick to the back of James Marshall's head,
and a big leg drop.
The leg drop right across the leg.
Because everybody knows everybody has targeted Marshall's head through his whole career because.
Oh, there's a big shiny bullseye.
Because everybody knows you take off the head, the body will fall.
Oh, yeah. And, super kick there by Marshall.
Big super kick and a big kick to those big kicks to the guts. And now Marshall, is he going for the ass blast?
Yeah, looks like he's going to try to go for an ass bath, but no.
Or he counter.
Big lariat.
And now Marshall's hung up in the ropes.
Yeah, Marshall's caught up in the ropes. And Dalton not wasting any time. He's taking full advantage of this game, as many free shots as he can. And honestly, that is a smart strategy by that kid.
That is smart. And Marshall is still telling him, come on, let's go.
Marshall ready. And Marshall down.
And a big elbow drop. And
Marshall getting the shoulder up at just
Dalton had to come with everything he got to keep Marshall down, because Marshall just went through hell in that fight against Craven Rage, and that was a brutal match that he went through. Oh,
definitely. That was one of the most brutal matches that we've ever done in WCE, and now you got Marshall on the street, but it looks like he's on spaghetti legs here, a little dazed, it looks like. And big lariat by Dalton, the Executioner.
Could this be it? And a big splash.
Big splash.
And this might be it, ladies and gentlemen. And no. 2.5. That's not going to be enough to keep the measuring stick down.
No, it isn't.
Dalton has hit this man with everything he can to keep this man down, and Marshall is still fighting. Dalton is shaking his head, ladies and gentlemen. Can't believe that this man is still keep coming after him.
And Marshall getting to his feet, dusting the cobwebs off.
And James is trying to figure out where he at, ladies and gentlemen, from all the punishment he has took from Dalton, the Executioner. And Marshall begging him to come on in.
Kick.
Big kick and a big enziguri.
Big enziguri there by
Marshall.
James Marshall on to Dalton. And
can this be it for Dalton Executioner?
That's a pin. And he kicks out.
He kicks out at 2. And now Marshall climbing up on the rope.
Big double X handle off the rope.
And I kind of, Marshall favoring that leg a little bit.
Yeah, Marshall's been favoring that leg ever since that leg drop onto the leg by Dalton.
And now is he going for his...
There you go, the big ode to Van Vader. Big Vader bomb!
Vader bomb, this could be it. And
I know,
Dalton Smoke grabbing the rope, ladies and gentlemen.
That is the second time these kids have been showing just, they might be trampoliners, but they understand how wrestling works. They understand ring positioning.
Yes, they understand in the ring,
No, wait,
small package.
Going for a small package, but no! Dalton! Shifted and gets it! Dalton, the Executioner, just pinned James Marshall
of the measuring stick.
And he ties things up for STBW with WCE. Now we're tied 1-1.
Let's go to these replays.
Yeah, this instant replay. Just take a look at how he just shifts his weight. And that's the one thing with leverage pins, is you really just have to be able to shift your weight in the right direction. We have a big tag team match coming next, folks. Oos, right side, Fury, Payton.